Let me tell you about a man who knew that many are distrustful of the silent, and not without reason. It is often the one who speaks least that knows most. Publius Syrus. Chapter 1. Your invisible chains. Invisible chains, they tell you to speak up. A lie. You are leaking power, spilling intentions. I will teach you the silent authority that truly commands respect. They tell you to speak up, to assert yourself, to demand respect. This is a lie, an invisible chain that binds you, draining your power with every word you utter. Machiavelli wrote that it is much safer to be feared than loved. What he understood is that real power doesn't beg for acknowledgement. It commands it through quiet strength, a silent authority that demands attention without ever raising its voice. Right now, you are leaking energy. You are spilling your intentions, your insecurities, your needs into the open. You believe that by explaining yourself, by seeking understanding, you gain respect. But watch what happens when you lay out your case, when you justify your decisions, when you plead for their approval. They don't listen, they take notes on your weaknesses. Every time you explain yourself, you move from an offensive position to a defensive position, and the moment they know you need their understanding, they have leverage over you. Your words become chains, binding you to their expectations, their judgments, their constant need for reassurance. You become predictable, a book with open pages, easy to read, and even easier to dismiss. Think about the men you truly respect. Do they constantly justify their existence? Do they endlessly explain their actions? No, they move with an almost imperceptible certainty. Their presence speaks volumes, their silence more potent than any lecture. They don't chase validation, they embody it. Here's how you shed these invisible chains. You stop talking. You cultivate a silence so profound that it forces others to lean in, to wonder, to guess. You let your actions speak rather than narrating them beforehand or defending them afterward. You become a closed book, revealing only what you choose, when you choose. If you announce your plans, people will offer opinions, plant seeds of doubt, and wait for you to fail. But if you quietly execute, if you let the results appear without fanfare, there's nothing for them to dissect, nothing for them to undermine. They are left to observe the undeniable outcome, and their respect becomes a forced recognition, not a freely given gift. The truth is, most people are waiting for you to flinch, to show your hand, to reveal the cracks in your armor. Your silence denies them this satisfaction. It creates an aura of self-possession, an unshakable inner core that cannot be swayed by external noise or petty critiques. It communicates an unwavering self-belief that no amount of verbal assertion could ever match. This isn't about arrogance, it's about strategic restraint. It's about understanding that the loudest voice is often the weakest, the most desperate. True power operates in the shadows, through careful observation and deliberate action. It doesn't need to shout to be heard. Its reverberations are felt in the decisions it makes and the boundaries it maintains. Instead of seeking their affirmation, turn inward. Focus on what you can control. As Marcus Aurelius put it, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. He knew that true strength is built from within, not assembled from external approvals. Your character, forged in quiet discipline, is what truly commands respect, not your vocal performance. This inner strength, this silent command, frees you from the need to manage perceptions. It liberates you from the constant performance. You are no longer trying to convince anyone. You are simply existing, powerfully, authentically. The less you explain, the more you embody the man they want to understand, but can't quite grasp. But there's another silent signal, one that operates on an even deeper level. one that uses their own projections against them, turning their assumptions into your advantage. What is it? Chapter 2, The Unseen Shield. The unseen shield, your true fortress, lies not in stone, but within. Master your inner landscape, or betray every secret to your foes. This next silent signal is the unseen shield, your absolute command over your emotional landscape. Every flicker of annoyance, every frustrated sigh, every time your voice cracks in anger or your face betrays surprise, these are tells. These are the small windows your enemies, your rivals, even your supposed friends peer through to map your weaknesses and predict your next move. They learn what makes you flinch, what pushes you too far, what makes you drop your guard. Your emotional reactions give away your true position. They reveal your attachments, your insecurities, your hidden desires, your current state of power or vulnerability. You become a predictable target, easily baited into traps, easily manipulated into actions that serve someone else's agenda. Nothing drains your strategic advantage faster than a public display of raw feeling, because in that moment, you stop thinking and start reacting. Watch what happens when you're cornered by someone who wants to provoke you. They'll throw insults, make unfair accusations, or simply try to disrupt your calm with their own manufactured chaos. The average man will feel the immediate urge to defend himself, to explain, to fight back with equal fervor. This is exactly what they want. They want you to lose control, to expose your nerve endings. The strategy is simple. Become a wall. A smooth, unreadable surface that gives nothing away. Your face should remain impassive, your eyes steady, your voice calm and measured, regardless of the storm around you. This is not about suppressing emotion, but mastering its expression, choosing when and if it serves your purpose to reveal anything at all. As Seneca wrote, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." He understood that your first impulse is usually your weakest, a reaction born of instinct, not calculation. Give yourself the space to breathe, to observe, to choose your response rather than being driven by a reflex. This delay is an invisible armor, allowing you to weigh consequences while your opponent assumes they have already won. When you refuse to react, you deny them the very data they need to control you. They expect an outburst, a counterattack, a justification. When they get nothing but a calm, steady gaze, their own tactics fall flat. Their efforts to unbalance you begin to feel pointless, even foolish, and their frustration grows in the vacuum of your non-response. This unreadable quality forces them to project their own fears and intentions onto you. They imagine what you are thinking, what you are planning, what silent judgment you hold. This uncertainty works in your favor, making you seem larger, more capable, more dangerous than you might be. They begin to respect the depth they cannot fathom, the quiet power they cannot pin down. Sun Tzu advised, "Ponder and deliberate before you act." What he understood is that your opponent's entire plan relies on you reacting predictably, on you making a move they have already accounted for. When you cultivate emotional control, you become unpredictable, a force that cannot be easily diagrammed or countered because your internal state is a fortress. When others see that you cannot be rattled, that their attempts to provoke you bounce off an unseen shield, they learn to tread carefully. They realize that the usual games of emotional manipulation simply do not work on you. This awareness builds respect, not just from those who might oppose you, but from everyone who observes your quiet strength. They see a man who owns his own mind. This mastery gives you an almost unfair advantage in any negotiation, any conflict, any social exchange. While others are burning energy in emotional displays, you are conserving yours, observing, calculating, waiting for the precise moment to act. You become the immovable object, the eye of the storm, the one who truly holds the cards, while everyone else shows theirs. The man who controls his emotions controls the room, controls the narrative, controls the outcome. Chapter 3. The Poker Face. The poker face, your greatest weakness. The urge to explain. Silence is strength. It guards your truth, your power. The problem is the urge to explain. You feel a pull to clarify, to justify, to make sure everyone understands your motives. This impulse, innocent as it seems, is a profound weakness, a leak in your power. It drains your mystique, turning you into an open book that anyone can read, anyone can dismiss. Every time you explain yourself, you move from an offensive position to a defensive one. The moment they know you need their understanding, you give them a weapon. You invite them to dissect your truth, to argue with your perspective, to chip away at your resolve. You become reactive rather than the one who dictates the terms. Watch what happens when a man is cornered, challenged on a decision, or questioned about his future. The weak man scrambles for words, throws out excuses, attempts to win approval with a torrent of justifications. All he achieves is revealing his insecurity, exposing his lack of conviction. But the man who demands respect understands the power of the poker face, not just for emotions, but for information. He cultivates strategic ambiguity, allowing his true intentions to remain opaque. He does not clarify every misunderstood glance, does not dissect every quiet moment. He lets the silence hang, heavy with possibility. Here's how you wield this weapon. When questions arise, when others dig for details, offer only what is necessary, what is strictly vital. Do not overshare. Do not explain your vision until it is undeniably manifest. Do not defend your decisions. Simply let the results speak. Your silence becomes a mirror for others. Carl Jung understood that much of what we perceive in others is a projection of our own inner landscape. When you present a carefully blank canvas, others cannot help but fill it with their own colors. They will paint you as powerful, as secretive, as wise, or as dangerous, whatever their own mind deems most likely. This projection gives you immense insight into their psychology. Think about the man who announces every move before it happens, every goal before it's achieved. He invites doubt, sabotage, and the smug satisfaction of others if he fails. But the man who quietly builds, quietly executes, gives nothing for his enemies to target. His victories hit harder because they appear to come from nowhere. True power prefers the shadows. It does not need to declare itself. It simply is. When you refuse to be fully known, you cultivate an aura of competence that cannot be easily dismissed. You become an enigma, a puzzle they constantly try to solve. In that effort, they grant you a reverence they would never give to the loudmouth who lays all his cards on the table. Aristotle, discussing the nature of character, believed that true virtue is found in balance and moderation. He understood that wisdom often resides not in the abundance of words, but in the deliberate choice of silence. A man of character knows when to speak, and critically, when to hold his tongue, allowing his actions to carry the weight words alone never could. The fool rushes to fill every void with his voice, desperate for validation. The wise man allows the void to exist, knowing that it draws others in, forces them to lean forward, to listen harder, to respect the unspoken power. They cannot dismiss what they do not fully comprehend. Your reputation becomes less about what you explicitly state and more about the inferences others make from your calculated reticence. This isn't about deception, it's about control. It's about managing perception by managing the flow of information. But there's another silent signal, one that operates on an even deeper, more subconscious level. It's the subtle display of your own unshakable self-worth. What is it? Chapter 4, The Vanishing Act. Vanishing Act, a prince's true power. is often found not in his presence but in his absence. We shall explore how to wield this weapon. The subtle display of your unshakable self-worth often manifests as the controlled absence. This is the vanishing act. They tell you to be present, to engage, to always show up. This is a lie, a trap, designed to drain your energy and dilute your perceived value. When you are always available, always on call, always eager to respond, you condition others to treat you as a default, a constant, a utility. Your presence becomes cheap. Your time has no cost. Think about it. Watch what happens when you are consistently the first to reply, the one always free, the person whose calendar is perpetually open. You become background noise. Your opinions hold less weight, your commitments less significance. People stop noticing when you are there, and they certainly don't miss you when you're gone. You have taught them that you are an infinite resource, and infinite resources are never truly valued. They take you for granted. They consume you without thought or gratitude. Here's how you reclaim your value. Embrace the strategic withdrawal. This isn't about disappearing forever or playing childish games. It's about calibrating your availability. It's about creating space, cultivating curiosity, and allowing your absence to speak louder than any words. When you are less accessible, when your time becomes a finite commodity, people begin to notice. They wonder where you are. They reflect on your last interaction. You force them to consider your worth, to feel the vacuum you leave behind. If you constantly announce your unavailability, if you make a show of being busy, it comes across as defensive and excuse. But if you quietly step back, if you simply become less present without explanation, there's nothing for them to challenge. There's only a void. This generates a subtle longing, a subconscious pull that grows stronger with each passing moment of your silence. Sigmund Freud, in his profound explorations of the human psyche, understood that what is withheld often creates a more powerful and enduring subconscious desire. Your strategic absence can become that void, compelling others to unconsciously seek your presence, to validate your return. This isn't about manipulation in the crude sense. It's about respecting your own boundaries and teaching others to respect them too. It's about demonstrating through your actions that your time and attention are valuable, not freely given. When you practice this vanishing act, you don't just create scarcity, you elevate your own perceived status. You transform from a common commodity into a rare resource. What you gain is not just desire, but a profound, unspoken respect that only comes from knowing your own worth. Confucius, the great philosopher, taught that a superior person is modest in their speech, but exceeds in their actions. Your actions of calibrated withdrawal are far more eloquent than any declaration of self-importance. They silently communicate a truth about your discipline, your self-possession, and your discernment. You do not chase attention. You allow attention to seek you. This builds an aura of quiet strength and independence. It demonstrates that your contentment comes from within, not from constant external validation. The power of this signal lies in its subtlety, its quiet insistence that you are not merely a reaction to others' demands, but a force with its own trajectory. It shifts the dynamic, it changes the perceived power structure without a single word. They will respect the space you command because they cannot control what they cannot constantly access. Your true value isn't found in perpetual presence, it's forged in the quiet power of your absence. But there's another layer to this unseen influence, one that reshapes how others perceive your very potential. What is it? Chapter 5, the unreachable prize. Your time, your attention, are they precious treasures or open for plunder? To be ceaselessly available, to chase every fleeting approval, you offer yourself as a free sample. The next signal is the unreachable prize, defining the value you place on your own time and attention. Constantly making yourself available, chasing every approval, tells people you are a commodity easily had. You become the free sample, endlessly consumed, never truly desired. They take your presence for granted, knowing you will always bend to their schedule, sacrificing your needs for theirs. This destroys your standing, making you a convenience, not a respected individual. Think about the person who always says yes, always answers the phone, dropping everything for others. Watch what happens when they try to assert a need. Their requests are met with surprise, irritation, or dismissal. They become a resource to be tapped, not a person with their own life. Their boundaries are invisible, never enforced, their desires secondary. Here's how you become the prize. Learn to say no. Establish clear, non-negotiable boundaries around your time, energy, and presence. This isn't rude. It signals your resources are finite, valuable. You do not explain these boundaries. You simply enact them. They are not up for negotiation. Stop chasing, stop trying to force connection, approval, attention, constant pursuit broadcasts, desperation, making others instinctively pull back. True value doesn't beg for recognition, it simply exists. It attracts. It demands effort from the other side. Constantly seeking external validation, always needing a pat on the back, fishing for compliments, people will see your weakness. They will understand you operate from insecurity, subtly exploiting it. They will dangle approval like a carrot, making you work harder, give more, tolerate less, all for fleeting acceptance. But if you are secure in your own worth, if validation comes from within, there is nothing they can hold over you. You become independent of their whims. You become a steady, unmovable force. They will meet you on your terms, respect your decisions, and earn your attention because they know you won't chase theirs. This quiet strength, this non-action, achieving more than frantic effort, was something Lao Tzu understood centuries ago. He taught, the softest thing in the world overcomes the hardest thing in the world. What he understood is that true power isn't forceful dominance or constant striving, but adaptability, resilience, the subtle art of letting things come to you. When you cease to push, you create a vacuum others will naturally fill, seeking you out. Your boundaries become silent guardians of self-respect. They teach others how to treat you, not through lectures, but consistent action. Every time you enforce a boundary, you solidify your standing. Every time you decline an unreasonable request, you raise the perceived value of your agreement. They start to see you as a source of something rare, not easily obtained. Your insights become more valuable. Your presence becomes more coveted. Your endorsement a significant prize. This isn't arrogance. It's accurate self-assessment and strategic positioning. You elevate your perceived worth, and others eventually align. Abraham Lincoln, whose quiet resolve guided a fractured nation, understood the power of an internal compass, unshaken by external pressures. He said, "Always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any one thing." What he understood is that self-reliance and unwavering commitment to your own path are more compelling than pandering for acceptance. When truly dedicated to your mission, others respect the journey, not just the destination. They will respect your time as currency because you treat it as such. They will seek your approval because you do not hand it out freely. They will value your presence because it is not guaranteed. This is the bedrock of genuine respect, not given out of obligation, but earned through the silent, unyielding declaration of your worth. This shift transforms how they see you as an individual, but there's an even deeper signal dictating how they perceive your overall influence and power. Chapter 6, The Silent Purpose. Purpose, a silent declaration. It projects your intent, your destination. Without it, you are but a rudderless ship, ripe for boarding, ripe for plunder. The next silent signal, one that immediately commands respect, is an unshakable sense of purpose. It's not about loud declarations or grand pronouncements. It's the quiet internal trajectory that guides your every move. This purpose is a foundational pillar, silently broadcasting your value and your direction to everyone you encounter. It tells them you are not easily swayed, not easily distracted, and not easily stopped. A man without this internal compass is constantly adrift. He becomes a vessel, easily boarded by others, his energy diverted into their dramas and their battles. They will pull him into their petty concerns, draining his time and focus, because they sense his lack of a definitive course. Without purpose, you are perceived as available, you are seen as a resource to be consumed, rather than a force to be reckoned with. This makes you vulnerable to manipulation and diminishes your perceived worth. Think about the person who constantly seeks external validation for their plans. They announce their every intention to anyone who will listen, seeking applause before a single brick is laid. This behavior is a clear signal of insecurity, an open invitation for doubt and critique. It gives others the leverage to chip away at their resolve, to subtly undermine their vision before it ever has a chance to solidify. The energy leaks out. Their commitment never fully crystallizes. Here's how you wield silent purpose as a weapon. You operate with an ironclad internal conviction, your path defined by your own standards, not by external approval. Your actions become your loudest statements, far more impactful than any words you might utter. When pressed for details about your ambitions, you offer vague, non-committal answers. You simply state your direction without elaborating on the complex why. This cultivates an aura of unshakable resolve and self-sufficiency. If you announce your next big move, people will feel entitled to comment, to offer unsolicited advice, or even to subtly redirect your efforts. They will try to weave your purpose into their own agendas, to make your journey serve their needs. But when you quietly execute your plans, there is nothing for them to grab onto. There is no point of entry for their doubt, no opportunity for them to exert control. They are left only to observe your results. Friedrich Nietzsche wrote extensively about the will to power, not as a drive for domination over others, but as an internal force to overcome oneself, to define one's own values and path. He understood that true strength emanates from this self-generated direction, a resolve that requires no external validation. A man of silent purpose embodies this philosophy. He is driven by his own internal compass, forging his destiny regardless of what others think or say. He is his own authority. Leonardo da Vinci, a relentless polymath, driven by insatiable curiosity, exemplified the profound power of silent, focused work. He did not broadcast every experiment or invention. Instead, he pursued his inquiries with an unwavering, quiet dedication. What he understood is that groundbreaking creation emerges from deep, uninterrupted engagement, shielded from the distracting noise and superficial expectations of the crowd. Your consistent effort and tangible output become your undeniable declaration. This unwavering internal compass transforms how people perceive your authority and influence. It commands a deeper respect than any spoken word. But there's another subtle signal, an unspoken agreement, that dictates how your boundaries are tested and ultimately respected or violated. Chapter 7. Your Own Kingdom. Absolute rule, the ultimate prize. We dissect the psychology of power, the architecture of a domain where your will alone holds sway. Learn to forge your own kingdom. The final signal is the gravitational pull of your own world. It's establishing your private empire, your own kingdom, a self-contained universe where your authority is absolute. Most men live by external permission. Their self-worth reflects in others' eyes. This makes them easy prey, always seeking approval, adjusting to popular opinion. A flimsy inner world makes you a puppet, every decision tainted by desperate validation. You speak not for truth but affirmation. Your energy drains into chasing acceptance, leaving little for creation. They know you need them. That knowledge gives them corrosive power. You are constantly explaining, justifying your existence. Watch a man whose self-esteem hinges on a partner's praise or social media likes. His mood swings with every slight. He cannot move without imagining others' reactions. He becomes a ghost, haunting other lives, waiting for an invitation to exist. This is not leadership. This is emotional beggary. The strategy is simple, brutal. Build your own kingdom. Cultivate an inner life so rich, so deeply engaging, that external praise or criticism becomes irrelevant. Develop passions, projects, intellectual pursuits independent of others' opinions. Have a mission, a deep personal purpose that anchors you beyond fickle social tides. This is self-sovereignty. Anchored by internal purpose, your existence radiates quiet, unshakable confidence. Your actions flow from deep conviction, not a desire to impress. This self-contained energy acts like a magnet, drawing people who respect genuine strength. It establishes a gravitational field, demanding others orbit your world, not you chasing theirs. You are the fixed point. Announce intentions, flaunt achievements, fish for compliments, and people see the hungry void. They recognize the performance, the desperate plea. This gives them leverage to withhold approval, watching you flinch. But when you simply are in your own power, quietly building your internal empire, there is nothing to attack, no weakness to exploit. Your self-sufficiency becomes your armor. It tells people, without a word, you do not need their validation to survive, thrive, or make your next move. This silent declaration dismantles their leverage. They cannot hurt you with neglect. Your inner world provides all sustenance. They cannot control you with opinions. Your convictions are your only compass. This deep, Chapter 8, the apex predator. Silent power, the unseen hand. This is where you master the true language of control, moving beyond the herd's clamor to a throne of your own making. Understanding of how power truly operates, forged through mastering these three signals, transforms you. It moves you beyond the reactive herd, beyond the petty conflicts, into a space of quiet, undeniable dominance. You are no longer the one constantly seeking approval, explaining your moves, or broadcasting your next play to the world. Instead, you operate from a position of absolute self-possession, an internal fortress where your intentions are guarded, your words are measured, and your sustenance is self-generated. This isn't about being loud or aggressive. It's about becoming so fundamentally strong that aggression towards you simply loses its meaning. There is no point of entry for weakness. Think about the sheer unyielding force of a natural phenomenon. It doesn't explain itself. It doesn't negotiate. It simply is. Your presence, when you embody these silent signals, begins to carry that same weight, that same inevitability. You become a force to be reckoned with, not because you declare it, but because your very existence radiates it. Genghis Khan, who built the largest land empire in history, understood that true power was not found in constant declarations, but in the terrifying inevitability of one's advance. He said, "I am the flail of God. If you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent a punishment like me upon you." What he understood is that your disciplined, quiet strength should be the unspoken consequence for those who mistake your silence for weakness. This integrated approach means you speak only when necessary, releasing words like surgical strikes. Your ambitions remain hidden, allowing you to move like a shadow, surprising competitors with accomplished facts. And your self-sufficiency eliminates any reliance on external validation or resources, making you immune to manipulation by withholding. People will try to read you, they will try to find your tells. But when you give them nothing to see, nothing to hear, and nothing to hold over you, their attempts become futile. They are left guessing, always reacting, always on the defensive, while you are always in control of your own internal game. Socrates, the ancient Athenian philosopher, constantly pushed for self-knowledge as the foundation of a meaningful existence. He famously declared that the unexamined life is not worth living. This profound insight applies directly here. When you relentlessly examine your own drives, your own needs, and your own drives, your own needs, and your own vulnerabilities, you gain an unbreakable mastery over them. This mastery translates into the silent signals of power. You do not leak your intentions because you know precisely what they are and their worth. You do not explain yourself because your inner logic is complete. You do not depend on others because you have cultivated your own internal wellspring of power and purpose. The three signals, controlled speech, hidden intentions, radical self-sufficiency, they are not merely individual tactics, they converge to form a complete system, a mental armor, a strategic doctrine. They create a psychological barrier around you that very few will even attempt to breach because they instinctively sense the futility of it. This system cultivates an aura that precedes you, a reputation for being formidable, unreadable, and utterly self-contained. It's the difference between being a pawn on the board and being the hand that moves the pieces. You become the player, always several moves ahead, operating in a reality others can only glimpse. The world is a harsh place, filled with those who will exploit any opening, any perceived weakness. But when you project nothing but quiet competence, when you deny them any handhold, they will pass you by. Not because they fear you, but because you offer them no angle of attack. This is not a game you play intermittently. This is a state of being you cultivate. It's how you move through the world, how you engage, and how you dominate. Your silence becomes your roar. Your invisibility becomes your greatest weapon. Now, go build your empire.